June 2020 Planetary Transits for Leo and Leo Rising. This is an equal house chart set up for 0 degrees Leo on the ascendant, Eastern Daylight Time, New York. We begin June 1st, 2020 with 2 retrograde planets in Capricorn in the 6th house sector. Jupiter at 26 degrees, conjunct Pluto at 24 degrees. The Sun is placed in the 11th house at 11 degrees of Gemini with the planet Venus at 15 degrees of Gemini, retrograde. The planet Mercury is at 4 degrees of Cancer in the 12th house. In the 7th house, we have the planet Saturn at 1 degree of Aquarius, retrograde. Mars is moving through the 8th house at 12 degrees of Pisces with Neptune at 20 degrees Pisces. The Moon is in Libra at 8 degrees in the 3rd house sector, and Uranus is in the 10th house at 8 degrees of Taurus. Overview. June of 2020 brings 3 major events. The second hit at exactitude of the magnificent Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, an annular solar eclipse, and the entrance of Mars in Aries for a 6-month-long transit. Let's look at each one and determine the life areas that will be impacted. The Jupiter-Pluto conjunction will make its second hit at exactitude in your 6th house sector at 24 degrees Capricorn, 6 minutes, retrograde. Planets in retrograde motion bring a review and readjustment. In the 6th house of work, expect job demands, responsibilities, and the manner in which you proceed in this life area to be redetermined. Additionally, due to the positive, expansive nature of this conjunction, whatever you require to move forward will be available. This conjunction is characterized by lucky, fated events, but there are pitfalls ahead over the next 6 months due to Mars in high tension. Please refer to my videos on the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction 2020 for Leo and Leo Rising, uploaded in December 2019, as well as my video on the 6-month transit of Mars in Aries for Leo and Leo Rising. The second and third events of importance occurring in June 2020 is the annular solar eclipse of June 21st at 0 degrees Cancer, 21 minutes, happening in your 12th house of the unconscious, repressed feelings and emotions, hospitals, institutions, and secrets, which is activated by Mars entering Aries on June 27th. On June 27th, 28th, and 29th, as Mars ignites the eclipse point in your 12th house, there could be a crisis or just intense activity and change in these life areas. Eclipse activations bring emphasis and focus to the life area it impacts. Of course, if you know your exact time of birth and have your astrological chart, you'll also have greater accuracy of interpretation. On June 2nd, Venus square Mars between houses 11 and 8 could stir up repressed, unconscious anger you have towards someone in an intimate relationship based on their past egocentric behavior patterns. On another level, a disagreement concerning jointly held money or assets could flare up. Be diplomatic and strive for compromise. The planet Venus conjuncts the Sun on June 3rd in your 11th house, a very sociable and affectionate energy. A get-together with friends is favored, as well as having a good time. June 5th brings the full moon, 3:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 15 degrees of Sagittarius in opposition to the Sun at 15 degrees of Gemini, spanning houses 5 and 11, highlighting friendships and group endeavors, creative and recreational pursuits, love affairs, and loved ones. The planet Mars at 15 degrees of Pisces is making a high-tension square, 90-degree aspect to this full moon. This is a highly frictional and impatient full moon. Be careful of what you say and how you say it at this time to avoid a major conflict with others. If you're on the road today, drive defensively, especially if you're irritated or frustrated. On June 6th, under Sun square Mars between houses 11 and 8, intense ego conflicts with others could erupt. This is an aspect of high energy and aggression with a tendency to force circumstances with others who will then try to stop you because they feel threatened. Conversely, you may have to contend with someone overstepping your boundaries. Instead of ego conflicts, use this energy to get a great deal of work done. On June 11th, Sun square Neptune between houses 11 and 8 is an aspect of deception resulting in confusion. The information you receive on the mental plane may be at odds with what your gut feelings are telling you about a situation. On another level, do not permit any news you receive to activate your inherent fears. Your imagination may be in overdrive. June 13th brings Mars conjunct Neptune in the 8th house, an energy of secret affairs and behind-the-scenes activities. Deceptive actions, however, are not likely to succeed at this time. On another level, the desire to escape the mundane will be strong. Do so in creative ways instead of indulgence in drugs or alcohol. On June 18th, the planet Mercury turns retrograde at 14 degrees of Cancer in the 12th house sector. Also on June 18th, Mars sextile Pluto between houses 8 and 6 is a positive vibration under which to communicate with coworkers and suggest changes or reforms in the workplace. The Sun enters Cancer on June 20th, ushering in the summer solstice and moving into your 12th house. Under Mars sextile Jupiter, also on June 20th, between houses 8 and 6, ask for help or favors work-wise. Others will be more receptive at this time. June 21st brings the new moon, 2:42 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 0 degrees of Cancer, 21 minutes in the 12th house, highlighting the unconscious, secrets, repressed emotions, hospitals and institutions over the month ahead. Use this energy to heal any trauma you've gone through, either recently or in your past. Seeking out a therapist or spiritual counselor is favored. This new moon is an annular solar eclipse that will be activated by Mars on June 27th, 28th, and 29th, emphasizing the concerns of this life area. The planet Neptune turns retrograde on June 23rd at 20 degrees of Pisces in the 8th house. Venus turns direct motion on June 25th at 5 degrees of Gemini in the 11th house sector. The planet Mars enters Aries on June 27th and moves into the 9th house. Mars sextile Saturn on June 28th between houses 9 and 7 favors meetings with partners, both business and personal, to iron out the contracts and agreements between you. Communication may be better than usual and progress made. June 30th brings the second hit at exactitude of the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction at 24 degrees of Capricorn, 6 minutes retrograde in your 6th house sector. Also, on June 30th, we have the Mercury sextile Uranus aspect between houses 12 and 10, and Mercury conjunct the Sun in the 12th house. Both aspects tell the story of intense mental activity and harmonious communication concerning relationships with superiors and career concerns, especially along the lines of reorganizing and restructuring to fit current needs. An excellent time for discussing and creating long-range plans and finding innovative solutions. On another level, a great deal of insight into your psychological workings may happen now.